everyone, it's Missy, and today I am taking a recipe out of my new cookbook. It's called Ball Canning Back to Basics, and this is all water bath canning recipes, which is all I ever do. I don't do pressure canning. So, I am going to make today currant jelly, and I'm going to follow the recipe as much as I can. However, I'm also going to be doing it in my jam jelly maker and my auto canner. So, we shall see how this goes. So what I did is I picked 3 1/3 pounds of red currants out of my garden. I am fortunate enough that I have one shrub and it gave me enough currants for this recipe. And what you want to do is destem the currants, and then you want to rinse them under cool running water. And then I am taking a potato masher and I am crushing the currants one layer at a time, and I'm using an enameled Dutch oven to do this in. You could also use a stainless steel pot, but you want to make sure that you get the currants crushed so that way the juices start coming out. So just make sure to do this one layer at a time, and then when I get these crushed, I'm going to move them to the one side of the pot and I'll add in another batch of currants and crush that layer as I go. It's easiest to do this in a 6-quart pot, so I am just trying to make sure that everything's crushed. As you can see, these are all the currants now, and then I want to add a 1/4 cup of water. And once you do that, you want to bring the whole mixture to a boil, and then you're going to reduce the heat and simmer for 10 minutes. But just make sure that you keep stirring so that way nothing sticks to the pot. And once everything has come to a boil, I just turn my heat down so that way it will simmer. And then once the mixture has simmered, you want to have a dampened jelly bag ready to move the mixture over so the juices can drain. If you don't have a jelly bag like I do, you can take 3 pieces of dampened cheesecloth and put them in a mesh strainer and put them over a pot. I have mine over a measuring cup because you want to get 3 cups of juice to make the jelly. So I got 3 cups of juice right here, and well, a little over 3 cups, but I think we're going to be okay. So the next step is I am actually going to deviate from the recipe a little bit, and I'm going to use my jam jelly maker for this. And it's still the same requirements as the ingredient list, where I need to have 4 tablespoons of classic pectin, so I'm just using the Ball pectin in the jar. And then to use a jam jelly maker, you need to whisk the pectin into the juice before you pour it into the pot. So I am just going to take and slowly try to whisk the pectin in. The book says, that came with the jam jelly maker, says that I don't have to have it completely dissolved, but it should be at least somewhat mixed in. So off to the side. Okay, so once you got your pectin whisked in, you can pour it into the pot. So I got that over here. Just gonna pour it evenly around the bottom, like so. You can see the clumps of pectin, but from what I read, that's okay. But we shall see. And then you also want to add your 1/2 teaspoon of butter at this point. And then what I'm going to do is select the jelly setting, and it defaults to 25 minutes. And all I'm going to do is select enter. And then when the 4-minute warning comes, then I will add in the sugar. Okay, so that was the 4-minute warning. We're going to add in 3 1/3 cups sugar, and you just want to add it evenly around the pot so that way it can dissolve. It's quite a bit of sugar. There we go. Okay, and now my book doesn't say anything about adding the lid. Usually when I do jam, I add the lid, and if you do pepper jelly, you add the lid. So I think I'm gonna add it though, because that's gonna help in the heating process. It also says there's some recipes that say do not add the lid, but it doesn't say that either. It doesn't say anything about the lid, so I'm gonna have to ask Paul and see for sure, but I've seen other people add the lid at this point. So, and then while that is cooking, I have my auto canner over here, and I have 4 half-pint jars or jelly jars in there ready to go. So I'm just gonna shut this and lock it, and then I'm gonna select the preheat option and start. And then in 12 minutes my jars will be sterilized and ready to go, and they can remain in this unit up to an hour, so we have plenty of time because I have 20 minutes left on the jam jelly maker. Then over at the stove, I got my lids in the pot, and I am just going to preheat the lids. Again, when you have the auto canner, it doesn't say anything about preheating lids. But I do that anyway just to be on the safe side. And then I got my canning supplies that I'll move over. You just need 4 rims, lid lifter, measuring stick, and then the other side used to poke out the bubbles, a wet rag to wash the rims of the jars, a funnel, and a jar lifter. So after we have come up to where the jam jelly maker's done, we'll be ready to can our jelly. Okay, I just want to let you know that after 7-8 minutes, this started like getting really high and a lot higher than the jam does when it boils in there, so I ended up taking the lid off. And it's doing just fine boiling, so I think I'm going to leave the lid off for the duration of the cooking time. Alright, so our jelly is done, so I'm going to select cancel, and then it's just going to cool off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stirrer out. As you can see, I got some foam in there, so I'm going to have to skim the foam on this one. If I can get the stirrer out first. Alright, get that in the sink. And then to skim off the foam, I'm just going to take a spoon here quick. Try to get it off the sides. And I'm going to tell you right now, it didn't surprise me that there was some foam in there because the foam, my juice was foamy when I poured it in. So I should have skimmed the foam off before I put that in. But I got a jar out of my canner. I'm going to put the funnel in. And then I am going to fill this jar up so there's a 1/4 inch headspace. I'm gonna measure that, see how well I did. Oh, I just need a little bit more. There we go. So I'm just gonna set that off to the side. I'm gonna take my wooden skewer and go around the edge. Make sure that all the air bubbles are removed. And then I have my rag. Just gonna wipe down the rim. And then get a lid. Set a lid on the jar. And then I got a rim. over here. And you just want to tighten it so it's fingertip tight. And I'm going to put that in the canner and then fill the rest of my jars. So once all your jars are filled, all you have to do is lock your lid. And you want to press jams and jellies and recipe number 1. And then start. And then after 28 minutes, your jars of jelly should be canned. I ended up with 3 jars of jelly and another half that ended up in the fridge that I didn't can. But if you have any other questions, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.